This is a controller board which I've been working on. I have the other board. I'm going to order the parts and build the boards and prove that they work, with the same functionality as this one. It works with a functional test, and I wrote a software to go along with that, kind of streamlined the process and made the Python file, where it's one Python file instead of multiples, and it makes it, a lot easier to use. Right now, it's a controller and it's used for a functional test, so I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Let's just say I'll put in 9985421, and we'll remember that serial number because I'll show you the CSV file when this is finished. Okay, so 9985421. The CSV file will be right here. It will have updated. Notice the time is 3:34 p.m. So it should have just wrote that file, and the new data would be at the very bottom, which would be right here, 3:33. So you can see the new data. You can open this up a little bit so you can see more of what has been written. So it tells you what files are being used, things like that, and then it gives you the results of the test. Um, Again, this functional test software is made where you create your own test plan with the software. You go in, you edit, you create your own test plan. You create a new one, you name it. And then you would create your own test plan based on what you need with user response, no user response, directions, things like that. So it works with this, and now I have another software I wrote that I'm going to demonstrate. It goes along with this as well, because this can be used for multiple different things. My goal was to write something that would help out a corporation I work for called AQS Incorporated. Of course, I don't work for them anymore. I don't work for anybody because the police won't tell the truth of what they did. They made me homeless, and they just laugh in my face. They're minions laughing in my face. Everyone thinks it's funny to fake my daughter's death and make me homeless. So anyway, the next software I'll show you, it makes it where you can control all of these, but you can use it for different things. Like you can also use it for like a home studio, something like that for your music, where you switch between which inputs you want. That way you don't have to keep plugging into a patch panel. You just plug it all into one thing and switch with the software, or you can have a manual switch. I'll show you that in a second. This is a demonstration of the software I've written for this same board that's in C sharp. Again, it uses Python files to do some things, so I modified a Python file to where I have one Python file instead of multiples. But it makes it, I'll show you that it's working with this software as well. It's in C sharp. It's not very large. It's a small file, maybe less than 200 lines of code. But I'll go ahead and show you that it's working. So now this computer is running really slow when it's got multiple things going at the same time. So if you see any delays, it's probably because the computer runs really slow. So I'll go ahead and do some auxiliary, turn that one on. And you can see it doesn't affect the auxiliary as I'm going through these. Go back to this one. Do the no selection, and you can see that it's working. Now, the thing about this board is that this is using 3 bits, and this is using 2 different bits from the output. When the final design of the board is using 4 bits total, which will be 3 of these bits It'd have a no selection and it'd have one auxiliary. That means for the project that you would create, you would have two of these boards built in the same project and would use 8 bits of data. You would have two where it selects, a no selection A, B, C, or D, and then you would have an auxiliary for each board. Each board would have both of these functions right here. I thought that was the best way to do it. That we use all the data bits for as much as you can. So that's a demonstration of this software. I mean, again, it's not much to it, just a few lines of code. But I'll show you the schematic next. This is the final kind of outlook of what I thought it might look like. I mean, basically what I'm doing, I'm going to control it with 4 inputs, and I'm just going to have 4 inputs. They'll either be none selected here, and I'll have 2 auxiliaries in case I need them for something. I may not need them at all, but it'll be either USB controlled or it'll be manual control. This would make it where if you have 4 voltmeters taking measurements, and you have to look at all 4. This would free up because those voltmeters, sometimes the ones they're using are very expensive, $100 each. So this, would make it where you have 1 voltmeter instead of 4 voltmeters to take measurements on, one test. You can just switch between which measurement point you're using. This is the look. This is what the board would look like inside of here. Keep in mind there are 2 of these boards. There will be 2 of these inside of this, and they're just powered on by 5 volts. But there will be 2 of them inside here. When you select A, B, C, or D, it would switch A, B, C, or D for the outputs of each of these on the same ones. They'd be tied together. One would be for the plus outputs, and one would be for the minus, measurement points that you're looking for. The schematic looks like this. I have some extra stuff on here that I want to add in here. Like I want to put a buffer in here, a tri-state buffer, so I want to test it out, make sure it works before I, say that it's done, because I haven't tested everything. I just know that this part of it works. This is the output, and I know the rotary switch part of it works too. I just haven't added it in, to the other board because I don't have enough hardware to finish what I want to do. This was the parts list that I need to create it. You can see it's only $34 for the parts, and that's to build one board. This is 5 boards right here, so it's $34.89 for one board, but that's also including shipping. And this one over here, it's $21.71 for 5 bare boards. I put them together myself. One software looks like this. The other software looks like that. And again, the goal was I would have digital IOs controlling a relay board, which would select between the A minus and the A plus measurement point. Then it would go to B minus, B plus, C minus, C plus, D minus, D plus. And it would be controlled by either USB on the computer, so you could take measurements with the computer, or you can switch it manually with a rotary switch. But that was kind of my idea. What else this controller could be used for? I used to have an audio box USB interface. I could have a patch panel where I'm selecting which input would go into either one of these. If you had 4 of these inputs, you could use 4 of these boards, and you could do it that way. There's a lot of different things you can do with this. I could select which input goes in, because you can only use 2 inputs at a time on this one. So you can do a lot of different things with this. Hey, I got a question for William Bartol from Austin, Texas. I think he lived on like Round Rope Loop or something like that. Um, you wouldn't want to admit that you tried to rape Han Wong in a post office shower in Austin, Texas around the year 2008, would you? Because, it'd do a lot of good for me if you were to admit this. I mean, you admitted it to me, and your eyes were blackened because you said some bulldog ran out and beat you down and just kept punching you in the face. Turned out that was my ex brother in law, Shane Hawley, that beat you up. I heard the story from three people. You told me, which was the day after it happened. Han Wong told me, when right about the time she was breaking up with me, and right about the time Intel Corporation had me arrested. And Shane Hawley told me a long time ago. I'm not sure when, but he told me a long time ago too. Three different stories all kind of, mixed together, and they make sense. But you wouldn't want to admit that, would you? Because it'd do me a lot of good. I'd be able to get a job and do something with the rest of my life instead of sitting here on a couch waiting for the crooked Carter County police to tell the truth about something that would put them in jail if they told the truth about. Because, I know that they know they got a slanted roof on this jailhouse down here in Lone Grove, Oklahoma. That means ever since they got that slanted roof on that jailhouse down there in that police station, they've known that they did something wrong, and they've been using the color law to shut me up ever since. They will not tell. They'll rather kill me than tell the truth. So if you'd admit trying to rape Han Wong in that post office shower in Austin, Texas, around 2008 timeframe, that'd do a lot of good. Bruce Mills, if you would admit to raping Trin in that Richardson police station, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you would admit, to letting Bruce Mills do that, it'd do me a lot of good. I'd be able to go live my life. I mean, you guys be able to get on with your lives too, because I have a feeling that you're going to have to get tattoos on your faces pretty soon, because everybody knows I'm telling the truth. When they bring all these people out that have faked their deaths, like Dale Earnhardt, and my dead daughter's still alive, Harvey Burkhart. Everybody's going to know I really got alcohol poisoning because what y'all did to me. So it'd probably do you guys a lot of good if you told the truth now before it got worse. All I can do is sit and wait because I already know you don't want to go to prison for what you did. But I'm going now. Bye.